Yo, it's real guys, real talk. Let's go.
All right, everyone, Anthony here. Welcome back to Real Guys, Real Talk. Today, we're going to go over Ukraine's new cruise missile, their new weapon system, and it's pretty cool. Looking at this, it is a direct competitor to the Tomahawk. Better in some ways, worse in others. It is called the FP-5 Flamingo. Firepoint is the defense manufacturer in Ukraine, founded in 22, and this was announced earlier this year, and I've been keeping up with it, but now it's in production. They're making 3 or 5 of these a day, so it's not bad. But let's go over some of the numbers on this, because it's interesting. So this is a big boy cruise missile. It's massive. They took the design of this from the German V1 buzz bomb, or at least got some ideas from it, because it pretty much looks similar to it. But this Flamingo cruise missile weighs 13,000 pounds. That is nearly, 3-4 times heavier than the Tomahawk. It has a payload of 2,500 pounds, and that is over 2 times larger than the Tomahawk, and a range of nearly 1,900 miles. 2 times bigger than a Tomahawk. That's impressive. This is 2 to 3 times bigger in most categories. The biggest problem with this is, since it is cheaper, it costs about, from what I was reading, $500,000 to $1 million to make one, compared to the Tomahawk, which is who knows how much really. It's not that accurate. So this has a radius, or an average hit area, of 50 feet from intended target, which for a 2,500 pound payload, it's still going to do some damage to wherever it's hitting. That's going to be a crater there. But if you're looking at a strategic strike, it's not going to be that. This is going to be more intended for taking out a tree line, a military base, barracks, maybe a high value building target. It can fly 1,900 miles, so pretty much anywhere in Russia it's going to hit. If it's taking out a refinery, it's going to do damage to everything around it. And this is really the first big thing that Ukraine has created on their own that can give them an edge, so to speak, over Russia for this deep strike capabilities. Because, launching, the FP-1, FP-2 drones from Firepoint, it's a smaller drone, a smaller size missile with a payload of 90, 100 pounds, so not much. It's what you see in most videos if you're on social media. They're just going over in masses, just doing little strikes here and there. It's still doing damage if it hits the right spot. With I think the FP-1 has a cruise time of like 9 hours, which is pretty intense, but it doesn't have it. They've never had the boom, so to speak. So I feel like with this Flamingo, which is a crazy name, by the way, and I was reading into it where they get that name, and it was a meme that was going around that one of the missiles was painted pink like a flamingo, so they just copied it and went with it. And I'm like, why not? The flamingo is coming, and a lot of them are. But it looks cool. A very sleek design. I do feel like the inaccuracy of it will hurt it overall. The speed, it goes about 500, 600 miles an hour, so it is cruising straight across the sky. It's staying relatively low. And, looking at Ukraine's defense capabilities, this is what they needed. With this, if they can actually ramp up production instead of just 3 to 5 a day, if they can go to 10 to 20, that could do something. That could actually start to push back the front line more by doing deep strikes behind the lines, taking out, what's coming in. This will be good. Another big issue that I seen with it was the capability to launch. From what I'm looking at, it takes about 40 to 50 minutes just to prep and launch one. It uses particular types of navigation, so like maybe like a GPS or whatnot, but the time it takes just to prep it to launch, that is a long time. If they can get that launch time down to 10 to 20, which is it's gonna be hard, you know, from the size of it, mobility, tracking it, locking it into target, a list of things. I feel like that is one of its biggest hinders is the time it will take to actually launch it. Because if you have a target, you want to be able to get there quick. You want to be able to strike quick, and that's like, you know, we're talking about the Tomahawk. In a lot of ways, this Flamingo is better, but the Tomahawk has the speed, has the accuracy, and it's made to do decisive strikes on targets, to cripple, to actually destroy a very specific target without missing. This is meant to go and just destroy this whole area type of thing. But because of that, I feel like this is going to help out a ton for their defenses, and hopefully put them back on the offense and really start pushing ground back towards Russia. And looking at all of Ukraine's future things, you know, from Firepoint and other companies, defense companies, they have some nice things being released, being created. They have a full autonomous like Jeep with a machine gun on top of it. Pretty cool, because right now there's a lot of drones, a lot of unmanned vehicles. So this this is just another thing that they're developing, but with these cruise missiles for the range, with these new autonomous Jeeps, you know, just going with a machine gun, you know, it's going to be interesting to see this battlefield. If this war keeps going, which hopefully it doesn't, hopefully there is a actual peace deal soon from both sides, because if it doesn't, you know, both sides are building a lot of stuff, new equipment, longer missiles, bigger missiles, and what happens with that? It's going to keep growing and growing and growing, and it's going to keep going crazy, and it's going to be a mess. If it isn't solved soon, within the next year or two, it's going to be a really mess on both sides. It's going to be bad. But I wanted to really talk about this today just to show it to you, because this is the first major, I guess, defense but offensive weapon that Ukraine has developed, and it seems like it is going to help them a tremendous amount. Firepoint and their drones and cruise missiles so far seems like they're on point, and I think this is going to be a great push for Ukraine overall to help assert them as not just, I guess, borrowing weapons, but actually using what they're making. That's going to be a huge thing. If they can actually do this effectively, then they're not going to be just someone asking for things. They're really going to be able to create and then dish it out anytime they want, that's a good thing. But everyone, this is a very quick video today. Just wanted to showcase that to you, show it off to you. If you have any thoughts on this, drop down below in the comments. If you like the video, like. More videos coming up soon. The guys will be back. Everybody's been busy, so it's just been me doing some stuff here and there. But subscribe down below. Until next time, I'll see ya.